And the letter from Thoughtful in Ontario said, Dear Amy, my fiancé and I are contemplating marriage. We love each other very much, trust each other completely, and want to start a family. We're both 27 years old and have built lives we're proud of. We found ourselves in the position of questioning what marriage means to us. Neither of us is particularly religious. We value the fact that marriage signifies a lifelong commitment. But as we also believe it's better to divorce than remain in an unhappy marriage, this benefit to marriage also seems somewhat invalidated. We don't want to engage in a meaningless wedding just so we can throw a big party. Do you have any thoughts for us on what marriage can mean for a couple or for a family above and beyond religious teachings? Or do you think we're just thinking about this too much? And Amy, rather than giving a complete answer, simply threw it to her readers, and I say, who has time to wait for what the readers think? Waiting for the snail mail to come in at the Chicago Tribune's offices. So I just decided to take calls from you, talk about it with you directly. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Stacy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How are you this evening?
Hey, Stacy. I'm good.
Good. Well, I was listening to the last couple callers, and, you know, I'm kind of also a victim of the Brady Bunch era where, you know, it's marriage and kids, and you know, so a lot of ways I really do agree with you, even though I just kind of am a fairly listener. But the only thing is I think if you're going to have kids, and I think when you talk about, like, you know, get as much sex as you can from whoever. And, you know, I can understand that. But then when you're having kids, I don't know, I just think it would be a hard example, you know, for kids.
Again, I'm not saying there isn't a benefit to kids. There isn't a benefit to men.
At all. You don't see a benefit to men at all?
No.
Well, because I know I've had a couple marriages under my belt, but, you know, I listened to some of the guys that call in, and, you know, I've never, ever taken a guy for when we split up for
That's wonderful that you didn't, but most do. That's why there's divorce courts. That's why there's divorce attorneys. That's why you read about huge divorce settlements.
Right, right.
And somebody's getting them. It's just not you.
Yeah, that's true.
So even if you're not doing it, it doesn't mean everybody else isn't.
Well, and I do think that's like that last caller said. I've heard, I have a girlfriend who, her boyfriend has girlfriends, and he keeps telling her he wants to marry her, and she just kind of doesn't see what's going on. So, and in some ways, too, if he was more honest, I would wonder why he doesn't just tell her, you know, I like you, I want to continue seeing you, but I also want to see other people. Why wouldn't someone just come out and do that?
Because many women don't want to appear to be sluts, and they will say no to that, even though they may be dating other people themselves.
Well, isn't there enough women out that he could just move on to the next one?
We have now learned that statistic we found about online dating. Mm-hmm. We have now, as men, we have learned that when women say, oh, no, I never do this. Oh, no, I'm not a slut. Oh, no, what do you take me for? What do you think I am? It's all a lie. Because 1/3 of the women who have pictures of sunsets and puppy dogs and kitty cats on Match.com and other online websites, they have sex on the first date.
Right, so it kind of doesn't make sense.
All it is women tell this lie that we men believe.
Well, I mean, do you think there's some really successful marriages that some people really are meant to be married? Or
like I have said many times, a couple of months ago, a man fell out a 16-story window, and he lived. Do you think there are people who fall out of 16-story windows and live? Yes.
Right.
Do you think everybody should jump out a 16-story window to find out?
No, obviously not.
Of course not.
Well, okay, I just kind of wanted to express my opinion.
Okay. Thank you very much. I love that cadence when women call radio programs like it's not okay for them to give an opinion. I just wanted to say what I was thinking. If that's okay with you. You know, I just wanted to express my little opinion here. on your big-time radio show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Robin on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
I'm in complete agreement with you. I was married for 5 years to a guy who worked maybe 2 out of those 5. And I've been working 2 jobs for about 10 years to not only supplement his income but mine. He put me in debt over $20,000. And for me working 2 jobs, that was quite a bit, supporting 2 people.
Of course, had you had a prenup, that would have been impossible, but you would never do that, right?
No, actually, I'll sign a prenup.
Yeah, but why didn't you instigate the prenup?
Well, it was one of those situations where I thought, like...
I was in love!
No, that marriage is forever and that when, you're with someone, you're not supposed to break
Even though
up.
half of all marriages end up in divorce.
Right. And, I agree. And the other thing, too, was the fact that even when we moved in together, I didn't want to marry him. I never said yes to him.
So why'd you do it?
My parents started paying for things. And I really respect my parents, and it was very hard for me to tell them, like, what are you doing?
So they were trying to give you financial incentives to get married.
I believe so, yeah.
When in reality, if they were giving you things, getting married would mean that he would own half of them.
Well, that was the thing that actually made my divorce okay, is the fact that I told him to take his things and go, and I'm keeping my things. I didn't want anything else from him. I still don't want anything else from him. It was pretty amicable divorce. I just said, take your stuff and go,
And now are you going to get married again?
No. I actually have a boyfriend who's currently listening to the show, and I'm a first-time caller, first-time listener, and he even told me, he goes, you don't think like a girl. And I started laughing. I said, why? Who do I think like? And he told me, I think like you. So I thought that was funny.
I love that.
Yeah, well, apparently we agree on quite a few things, and since I've been listening to your show, I find myself yelling at the stupid men who call and are in stupid situations.
We have a lot of them, dear. That's how we make our living.
Yeah, and the women who are too ignorant to realize that, not everything is roses and sunshine and rainbows. So I'm in complete agreement with you. It's funny because before I even listened to your show, my boyfriend would, mutter a few things here and there, and I'd just be like, where do you get these thoughts and ideas from? And then he told me you. And I'm like, okay, I got to listen to this guy. So about a week ago or so, I started listening to you, and I'm finding myself, like I said, yelling at the radio, going, you stupid man, and especially the one that got married 6 times. And why are you... I made my mistakes. I admit it. My mistake was getting married when I did not want to, and I understand this. And I, of course, tried everything for about a year or so to make things work. I asked him for counseling. I asked him if, we could talk every Sunday to try and reconcile things. And it came down to a point where I had gotten into a car accident, and he didn't care that I survived.
Oh, boy.
I was done. After that...
That's a whole other topic, by the way. People who've been with somebody and they're so fed up with the relationship, something horrible happened to the other person, and you're kind of hoping they wouldn't come home. Or you're like, yeah, well, whatever. All right, sure, raped. Okay, whatever. Concussion, fine. Stabbed. Did she make it through? Oh, all right. Whatever. 1-800-5800. It's so offensive. I can't believe he said that. That's disgusting. Melissa, on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
My mistake.
All right, she's going to listen to the radio. She's gonna wake
Hi.
up. Oh, hi.
How are you?
Yes.
And I'm hoping that maybe you will actually consider me to be the one woman
that you talk to tonight that actually has some semblance of intelligence? I hope there's other... I'm sorry?
A couple of intelligent women have called in.
Oh, good. Sorry, I had to take a break from the radio.
Dean wasn't paying attention when he was screening. That's how that happened.
Well, hey, no, my parents have been married for 40 years, and they're happily married. Grew up great home environment, all that good stuff. But, you know, for me, I'm 33 years old. I'm single, financially independent, and, you know, I don't need a man to take care of me. I want to take care of myself. I get what I need for myself.
Now, are you, here's the real question. Here's the $64,000 question. Are you attractive?
Yes.
And I don't mean inside. I mean outside. Like if someone looked at you, they'd say, look at her. Hot.
Absolutely. Tom, I'm 5'10", flat-footed. I used to model. So, yes, I'm attractive.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm the whole package. But, you know, what I'm looking for, if, you know, I choose to have a companion, it's because of that person and not because of what they're going to do for me or buy for me or anything like that.
So you're simply looking to get boned if you need to.
Exactly. Hey, you know, I know how to throw a little leg. I'm down with that. I can do that.
You just need to throw a little leg up.
Hey, I've been known to throw them both every once in a while, too, Tom.
Love that.
Absolutely.
Remember, left leg of the 10, right leg of the 2.
No, but I think I'm one of the few women that actually 99.9% of the time I agree with everything that you have to say, and it's nice to actually listen to your show because even though I am a woman, you know, I still feel like sometimes there's those guys that, you know, they're looking for the mother figure, somebody to take care of them and things like that. No, not even interested.
All right, Melissa, well, that sounds good to me.
Tom. Nipples. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
You're unbelievable.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. Oh, look at that. Mr. Whipple died. He was not in my Deadpool, Mr. Whipple. Besides, he was 91 years old. I just want to say this about Mr. Whipple, the character. They did the commercials for Charmin toilet paper. And I mean this. I'm not just saying this to this day. I hated that commercial so much. I will never, ever, ever buy that product, ever. You know, nothing wrong with being a fruity store manager, but when I saw that character on TV telling the little old fag hags who shop at that supermarket, please don't squeeze the Charmin, I mean, nothing drove me away faster from a product than that character. Now, I know it was phenomenally successful, and that it made Charmin the #1 bathroom tissue in America. Because, let's face it, you know, this country is full of women who, you know, are very moved by gay men, whether it's guys doing home makeovers or guys, you know, hairdressers, performers. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Singers who look gay, singers who are gay. You know what I'm talking about. So, of course, they ran out and bought Charmin just because, you know, women love gay men. And the actor who played Mr. Whipple, I don't know what his sexual orientation was. Now that he's dead, we could speculate. I mean, he did have a daughter, it says here in the story, but lots of gay men have kids. Jesus. Just that whole concept. I always find it really weird that the most conservative... By the way, I'm a disciple of Procter & Gamble, and specifically their ability in the marketing area. We're behind Procter & Gamble for many, many years, and they've written a number of books. I have some of them on my shelves, in fact, at home. And Procter & Gamble is second to none in their ability to market products. They are absolutely the best that there ever have been and ever will. 60s, and whenever those commercials started, thought of this idea of having a character who was like a fruity, fuss-budgety store manager who didn't want women squeezing toilet paper, and who then had some kind of autoerotic asphyxiation of toilet paper. I always imagine Mr. Whipple taking those rolls home at night and, you know, squeezing them. Pulling the boxers down and finding a place to store his toilet paper. You know what I mean? I swear, as a kid, when I first started having those kinds of thoughts, I'm not making this up. That was one of my first thoughts about Charmin when I was a kid. Frankly, when the Charmin commercials first came on, I knew there were gay people. I just didn't know. Like on TV, you know, you had all these characters that looked remotely gay, like any character played by Paul Lynde or whatever. And of course, there was Mr. Whipple. And I imagine Mr. Whipple's character taking the roll of toilet paper home and just dispensing it from his midsection. That's the cleanest way I could say it. Squeezing the Charmin. Actually, if you think about it, it's a lot more convenient than taking a sweat sock to bed. I can't help myself. Now, how's that for a mental image you're going to have tonight, Mr. Whipple? I wonder if he had the roll going over or under. If he was in your Deadpool, you got 9 points, but I doubt you did. By the way, you know where he's being buried. Did you hear about this? No. He and 3 other family members are going to be wrapped in cellophane. They're going to be placed together. And please don't squeeze them. I hated that guy. I hated him. I'm sure in his private life he was a very nice guy. Just an actor trying to make a living and stuff, but, you know, as a kid and that commercial was on, and I remember, you know what, I remember having summer vacation and being exposed to daytime television for the 12 weeks of summer vacation. I remember Mr. Whipple was on like in every break on every daytime TV show, and I hated him. I absolutely hated him. You know, and the guy was more flaming every commercial that came on. Not that there's anything wrong with being flaming. I wonder how many gay men out there came out of the closet because they were emboldened by seeing Mr. Whipple on television. You know, it's like the black people who wanted to become astronauts because they saw Uhuru on Star Trek. How many gay men came out because Mr. Whipple was openly in the supermarket squeezing toilet paper? I'll bet there are gay men out there right now who had erotic dreams about being with Mr. Whipple. Can't help it.
Is he a bear?
I don't know if he was a bear. I think he'd be more interested in guys wrapped in paper. Like to squeeze them. Oh, yes. He liked guys who were squeezably soft. Sorry, I can't help it. I'm off to the races here. I can't stop. Somebody stop me. 1-800-5800-TOM. What were you going to say, Gary? I'm sorry. Were you going to try to stop me again? No, you were going to try to push me further, weren't you? This is Anna on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. Oh, my goodness. I was just telling your person that answered the phone that you ought to thank God that there's women in this world, or you would not have a job and you would not have anybody to talk about.
Or by the way, I might add, I have to agree with you. And there wouldn't be any sperm depositories or human toilets. You're absolutely right.
And thank God for women. We have dildos and we don't have to deal with men like you.
Well, you know, it must be tough being a lesbian.
Sometimes they're just no good. You got to fake it.
All right, darling. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll bet she was no fan of Mr. Whipple either. For different reasons. She's off having a Coors Light with Rosie O'Donnell now. Large. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Sarah on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Sarah.
I can't believe what she just said. That's hilarious.
We had to bleep it. That's how good it was.
I just wanted to say that this whole discussion is the perfect reason why women should get their...
Yeah, but you're assuming you'll never have anything.
This is true. This is true. And
I mean, why would you get a degree if your plan is to be completely unsuccessful in anything you ever attempt to accomplish?
Just because I don't want a prenup? I mean, I don't have any feeling about a prenup one way or the other.
Yeah, but why don't you have a plan to get one?
We're not that far along, actually. We're going to get married in about a year and a half. So,
but you're engaged.
Yes, we are.
So now it's time to get the prenup.
Sure.
That doesn't mean get it in a year and a half, the week before the wedding. That means you get it now. You know why? What happens if you have big disagreements about the stuff in the prenup? Maybe you won't be getting married.
This is true, and it's better to find out beforehand than after.
So it's time to make the appointment and go down and get that done.
Yeah. You know, and I also wanted to tell you that I really, truly, even though I'm getting married and we're getting married, I really agree with you that there are men and women who are not meant to be married. And they should just realize it. I mean, that guy who waited 6 marriages, really?
I think no man is made to be married. Women, of course, get benefits from being married, and, you know.
You know, and we could disagree on that. I mean, I don't speak for all women, and I love your show, and I love you, but you don't speak for all men. And I'm sure if you throw a rock, sometime you're going to hit a guy who is meant to be married, and that's fine.
I don't think men benefit from marriage. Here, I'll tell you who benefits from marriage. What men benefit from marriage? Kevin Federline.
He did benefit from marriage, absolutely.
Yeah, but how many Kevin Federlines are there?
Oh, I don't know. And who would marry him if you did find him?
The reason the Kevin Federline divorce for Britney Spears is a story is because how often do you ever hear of a man getting money from a woman? It just doesn't happen.
True, and that's the problem. That's the problem right there, is that here's the problem, Tom. Okay?
If women thought they would have to pay alimony, they would not be bothering us all the time to get married.
Well, exactly. It should be both ways. It should be both ways. And that's the thing. If you're a successful guy and you go marry a waitress, what are you going to expect? What are you going to expect when you get a divorce? She's going to just go back to waitressing? I mean, that's the thing.
By the way, the answer to that, yes.
But it doesn't work that way. And that's
why. But it should work that way. Guess what? If you were too lazy to go to college and get a degree, and I meet you and you're a waitress, and things between me and you don't work out, yes, you should be going back to being a waitress, and I should owe you 10 cents.
Exactly. Well, see, that's the thing, is that for me personally, I'm not getting married until I can take care of myself. But this is the thing, Tom. There are stupid women and there are stupid men. If a man goes out and marries some chick who cannot take care of herself before he marries her, I don't think he has the right to expect that she's going to go back to not being able to take care of herself after he gets done with it. I think he should expect that, hey, she's going to try and screw him. And, you know, it's not right. It's not something that I would do. Like I said, I can walk away from this marriage with my head held high, and as long as there aren't any kids, I don't need anything from them. I don't. And, you know.
Yep, but the problem is the law allows you to take it whether or not you actually need it. And that's the problem that I have.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Were you a virgin?
No, man. I've been with a lot of women in my day.
Hundreds and hundreds. Mother's best friend, grandmother's best friend, girlfriends, mothers. He's been with every woman on earth. Everybody. Look at the white pages. Everybody with a female name, he's been with them.
I wouldn't say every woman, but, I mean, any woman that will let me, that's my problem. Any woman
that's a much smaller list.
I think that's the biggest case of virginitis I've ever heard of.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show from Hollywood at 1-800-5800-TOM. This all started with a newspaper article. A couple writing into the Ask Amy column of the Chicago Tribune. We're considering getting married, but they're not particularly religious. They believe marriage is for life, but they also believe that if a marriage is bad, you get divorced. So they say, why do this? Good question. Why do this? 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's David on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How are you, sir?
Great.
Well, I just had a question for you. I've only been a short-time listener. I've only been listening for a few months, and you've probably covered it in other shows. My question is, did you start talking about marriage and its, turmoils and downfalls after your fourth divorce, or were you talking about it prior to then?
Well, I have talked about it over the years, but I've become more strident and more specific about my objections to marriage after all of the divorces were complete, of course, because I continued to get married.
I see. And by no means was I trying to be derogatory. I think you're wonderful, but I'm like I said, I'm sure you had covered that point before, and I just wanted to know, what was up with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned. I'm one person who will tell you I've made mistakes, and I've learned from them.
Yes, sir. I think that's a valuable lesson that all men should take. Is like I say, I greatly enjoy listening to your show. I work in Dallas and commute back and forth between the town I live in. It's about 80 miles away, so I get a lot of chances to listen to you. But anyway, I think you're great, Tom.
David, thank you very much for that. I appreciate the call. We have one of these unique situations where everybody hung up at the same time. Everybody hung up at the same time. So this is one of those times where if you dial right now, and these come up about once every month, once every 6 weeks, if you dial right now, you're guaranteed to get on if you get in before I finish this sentence. Yeah. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. You might still get through, but the guarantee is over. The guarantee is over. 1-800-5800-866 is our telephone number. Kevin on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Daddy.
Hello, son.
How you doing this evening?
Great.
Fantastic. Tom, a long-time listener, second-time caller. As always, before I tell you why I'm calling, I want to thank you once again for being the true voice of reason to all men out there. You are truly the professor, and I thank you for the wonderful service that you are providing.
Thank you for noticing that.
My pleasure, sir. I wanted to comment about this Ask Amy article you were talking about, the pitfalls of marriage and everything. I read an article in a local newspaper here in South Florida, and they basically summed up this whole concept of marriage in 2 words: notarized dating. That's all it pretty much is. When you take a look at the amount of marriages that are failing in this country today, according to some statistics, especially here in Florida, 57% of all marriages that take place in this state nowadays will at some point end in divorce, and in cases where at least one of the 2 entering the marriage has been previously divorced, the divorce rate is even higher. And the primary reason is because of past issues from previous marriages, temptation that's out there. I'm not knocking marriage, but there's absolutely no advantage to it, especially for men. When you look at everything that's going on with no-fault divorce, the freedom of no-fault, unfortunately, women can, take advantage of the system, and they can take the men to the cleaners. And I agree totally with you 1,000% about this concept.
And we allow this to go on.
I know, and it's unfortunate. And the one thing that I say, especially to all the men out there, you need to listen to Tom Leykis. You need to listen to the professor. He knows what he's talking about. And men, and I'm telling you, Tom, if I've been divorced now for almost 7 years, and unfortunately, I wish that you were around. Well, you probably were, but unfortunately, I was listening to you about 7 years ago. But men, I say this to you, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, if you decide to get married, please, please, please get a prenup. You'll thank Tom later. I'm sure that I agree with you 1,000%. Get that prenup, because if you end up getting divorced, the woman has every right to take you for everything that you have.
And she will.
Exactly. Tom, as always, it is a pleasure. Please take me out African tribal style, please.
Here you go, Kevin. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Greg on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How you doing, man?
I'm okay.
Long-time listener, and I'm one of the happily married men of America, but I'm sure you want to grill me on it a little bit.
Why do I need to grill you? Only you know if you're happy.
Well, you know, I mean, I think you're doing a great service to the boys out there, and, you know, I wouldn't recommend it unless you really, you know, you want to work at the marriage. I'll tell you the other thing that I want to call about. My wife is smoking, and I mean smoking hot. I would not marry a woman that doesn't have the, you know, necessary qualities. I make, you know, a lot of money. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, for some, it's a really good thing. I think that, you know, I talk to my son the way that you talk to your boys about protection, about not letting a woman trap you. And, you know, I guess I just got lucky.
Wow. Well, you know, again, it is luck because the vast majority of guys are not getting what you're getting.
Correct. And, you know, I mean, I get it about once a week. I'm sure I can say that on the radio, which may or may not be enough. But
once a week? What are you, 70?
Well, there you go. Now you got me on a drawback.
No wonder you're so happy. Once a week.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's quality, not quantity.
No, stop it. You know what? You need at least 3 quality swings a week. You can't be doing it once a week. That's ridiculous.
Well, my wife and I have a little deal. That if she's not interested, she helps me out. So, you know, I could get it more than once a week, but I like, you know, I like the way.
No, the deal should be if she doesn't want it, she helps you get laid by somebody else. She helps you find somebody on the side.
I've never tried that. Now, you know what? I'm not perfect. I have made mistakes, and I would not. I really appreciate the fact that you tell your listeners that, hey, when you're married, you shouldn't be screwing around. And you know, I don't. I made my mistake, and I certainly don't anymore. And you know, I think that if you're going to be in marriage, you do it right. I have to tell you that this is my point, and I've talked to my buddies about it. I listen to your show all the time, and I do almost exactly the opposite to stay married.
Well, because I don't give advice on how to stay married. I give advice on how to get laid. Right, and clearly, you're not following it because you're not getting laid.
Well, I am. I mean, you know, like I said,
once a week is not getting laid. Once a week is a mercy hump.
Yeah, but I get helped out in many other ways.
Guess what? There's only one kind of help I need. And it involves, it's kind of like churning butter. You know what I'm talking about? It involves some brisk activity.
Correct. It involves a vagina. But there are other ways that I can be satisfied. And like I said, unless you're making, I appreciate the fact that you tell your listeners, go to college. You know, I have a doctorate degree, and you know, I make a lot of money. I do very, very well. Pick a woman.
By the way, making all that money, you know how much you could be getting laid out here in the real world?
Yeah, I live in Malibu, man. I live in L.A., so I know exactly how much I can get.
So look what you're giving up here. You only have one life.
My wife is smoking hot. I mean, I got to tell you, she says...
But what good is it if she is not performing her duties?
Well, you know, I think that she's doing the best she can, and I got to
tell you... What do you mean she's doing the best she can?
I'm satisfied. I don't necessarily need
Oh, my. You're killing me. I can't take anymore. Stop, please. Shelley, yes, I haven't said your name yet. Shelley, you're on the... Now, we're going to follow the script with me, dear, okay?
Yeah.
Let's start again.
I like to go out with...
Wait. I haven't started again. Hold on. I'm preparing.
You're preparing? What are we having here, an orgy?
Not you, dear. Shelley, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
My name is Michelle, not Shelley. It's Michelle.
Well, it says Shelley on the screen. Did you change your name between the time you called in?
That's a nickname, but my name is Michelle.
Well, you told Dean your name was Shelley, and that's the name I'm going by.
Well, for Tom, it's Michelle.
Are you nuts?
I would think so.
Yeah, so why are you calling?
I want to talk to Tom.
Oh, hold on. I'll get him for you. The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Shelley on the Tom Leykis Show.
Michelle, Tom. Hi, how are you?
Oh, no, I was talking to Shelley, so you'll have to hold on a second, okay?
Oh, Shelley is my nickname. For you, it's Michelle.
Are you insane?
Most likely, I would assume.
Why are you calling, dear?
Why am I calling? Is this Tom?
Oh, you wanted to talk to Tom.
Oh, this is Tom. Well, who do you think I want to talk to?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
No, I called you before.
Long-time listener, second-time caller.
I called you about a year ago. Is this Tom Leykis?
Oh, you want to talk to Tom Leykis. Hold on, please. The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Shelley, the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello. I can't hear you. Can you hear me, Tom? Is this Tom?
You know, I did 2 years on the air in Miami, Florida. Gary, you weren't there with me. This is what it was like night after night after night.
What was that?
This, by the way, is the daughter of the woman who used to call me.
This is the daughter?
When I was in Miami.
No.
Everybody in the card room loves your show. I told my daughter to listen to you. She's 74.
The Tom Leykis Show.